death, yin and yang, all are kept in balance to focus the arcane powers and energies at the mystic's disposal. Enemies are driven to madness, their blood boiling with rage, or have their courage sapped from them, reducing their form to little more than a gibbering chicken left to scurry about the battlefield. Mystics are sturdier than your average mage and can often be found in close combat, dealing surprising amounts of damage when they aren't weaving their strange magics on their foes. Hi, I'm Mikey from Tactics Live Tournament, and today I have another episode in the Job Focus series. The goal of these videos is to crack open the hood on each class, present technical information in a simplified way, and help you make better choices when raising your squad. In today's Job Focus, we're going to do a deep dive into the Mystic class, looking at their equipment choices, how their abilities work, and touch on how to manage their stats. Are you curious about including a Mystic in your PvP roster, but are unsure how to utilize their stats and equipment for a truly unique combatant? Or have you been wondering how best to sap and drain your enemy's energy in your storyline progression? If so, get ready to unravel the mystical forces of the body and mind as we get into a Mystic Job Focus session. The Mystic isn't your typical caster and can be a strange unit to find a niche for in your roster. Unlike other casters, the Mystic doesn't deal direct damage or use curative healing spells to restore allies. Instead, they rely on inflicting status effects other classes do not have access to, such as Berserk, Sleep, and Stone. Mystics also make formidable melee combatants thanks to their use of poles, giving them extended range to strike their opponents from a safe distance, while carrying some essential abilities usable by other classes. To unlock the Mystic, you will need a level 2 Chemist and a level 3 White Mage. Considering the class of jobs needed to get started, it can come as a surprise to see how much the Mystic changes from an established healer to a debuffing support role. For the Mystic, versatility seems to be the focus when it comes to your choice of weapons. Rods, staves, books, and poles are available to equip. And for this episode, we will be focusing on poles, as we have covered books during the Arithmetician Job Focus, and we'll cover rods and staves in future episodes. Poles are considered lunging weapons, the first of their kind we have covered so far. It is worth noting that lunging weapons strike 2 tiles of distance, so you do not need to be directly adjacent to your target anymore, safely avoiding the risks of melee counterattacks. In addition, lunging weapons can strike 3 height, both up and down directions, giving your Mystic greater range of damage against enemies trying to climb their way to safety. Why would you want your Mystic in close combat in the first place, you might be asking? In this case, it is because poles use your magic attack stat as a multiplier for damage against the weapon power of the pole. This means when you are out of MP, you can still use that generous MA stat line to inflict punishment on your enemies and continue to deliver value. The rest of the Mystics kit revolves around increasing your magic attack. Since Mystics have access to clothes as well as robes, you can attempt to boost their HP or speed if you would like to tune them for better close combat fighters, with the Thief's Hat and a cape for better protection. Otherwise, your standard magic-based robes and accessories will give you the magic and melee punch you need. For the Mystic's action abilities, we can derive our success rate for the various spells on the same equation, which is based on your faith and the target's faith. Then, your magic attack added to the factor for that individual spell. This means that increasing your faith is going to have a much greater effect on your success rate than simply increasing your magic attack. Luckily, the Mystic comes with a spell to help you out with that, Belief, which gives you the faith status, effectively raising your faith to 100. Let's take a moment to look at the different success rates across the Mystic arts, with the highest successes being Blind and Harmony with 200, and a low of Corruption with 100. Let's take another moment to pick out a couple key action abilities the well-rounded Mystic can always be found with, starting with Invigoration, which deals 25% of your target's HP as damage, and gives you that amount back in HP. This is great against tanky characters whose defenses you just can't seem to get past, and keeping up your own health as an added bonus. Next, we have Empowerment, absorbing 33% of your target's MP. Against fellow casters, this is a must-have, as your own abilities have a relatively high MP cost of their own, so why not use their pool of MP as yours? These are the only 2 damaging abilities, and the rest are used for debilitating status effects. The first you will probably pick up, even before the first 2 mentioned, is Hesitation for 100 job points. This disables your target, preventing them from acting for 24 ticks. In addition, when a unit is disabled, they are unable to use their reaction ability, a great way to get through reflexes or Shira Hidori. We mentioned Belief to boost your faith, or also your enemy's faith, and we should also mention Disbelief as the opposite, inflicting your target with the Atheist status, which reduces their faith to 0. While all of the Mystic's action abilities can find a use during battle, the last I would like to mention for this video is Harmony. Costing 800 job points to learn, it is worth it, for the benefit of removing buffs from your targets that could swing the tide of battle in your favor, such as removing Re-Raise, Reflect, or Haste, with a very high success rate to boot. For reaction abilities, we have MP Absorb, which gives the Mystic MP equal to the amount used to cast a spell that hit them. I prefer to rely on skills like Empowerment to gain MP over the course of battle, and there are plenty of better reaction options available for mages, so I would say this one is safe to skip. Defense Boost is like having a layer of Protect on you at all times, and is great for tanky melee characters, as well as the Mystics themselves. Norweather removes any penalties or bonuses caused by the inclement weather like rain and snow that gives slight boost to spells. Mystic has probably one of the best movement spells in the game, and that's Mana Font. This ability gives you a small amount of MP at the end of your movement. For casters, this isn't a lot, usually not enough to cast a single spell, but when combined with Mana Shield reaction ability, this guarantees a small MP refill, which is all you need to have Mana Shield kick in and absorb all incoming damage. If there is one thing that is not strange and mystical with this job, it's your move and jump of 3, which you can almost always expect from any other caster class. In addition, you can count on the standard 5% class evasion rate. Looking at our class stats, we are taking a penalty of 75 to our HP, a nice small 110 to our MP, a nasty but unsurprising 50 to our physical attack, and a generous 120 bonus to our magic attack, while retaining 100% of our speed. On the growth side, things are slightly better, as our HP is somewhat decent. Our MP growth is actually very decent. Our physical attack is lower than average, and standard magic attack and speed growth. While not exceeding expectations in any category, if you're going to be sticking around as a Mystic for a while to gather a bunch of abilities, you at least won't take too much of a hit to your HP and MP growth. The Mystic isn't as intuitive as other caster classes, but can still deliver devastating results through applying ailments and removing buffs. Poles are lunging weapons with 2 tile attack distance and a 3 height striking range in both directions. They rely on your magic attack to do damage instead of your physical attack. Mystic arts benefit from high faith on both your Mystic and your target for greater chances of success. Using belief on yourself is a good first step. Use robes to increase your MA for better pole damage, more MP for your spells, though feel free to mix and match clothes and accessories, as having a slightly lower MA won't adversely affect your Mystic arts compared to low faith. Mana Font, when combined with Mana Shield, is a must-have for physical damage dealers, so make sure you pick this up if you plan on being a high-powered ninja or Dark Knight one day, though this skill admittedly has less use for dedicated casters. This concludes this episode of the Job Focus series with The Mystic. I wanted to take this opportunity to promote the official TacticsLeague.com website. linked in the description. Hats off to Tactics League moderator Yoshinja for creating this amazing place to get started on War of the Lions multiplayer. There is definitely a PvP focus here, but honestly, there is something for every fan of Final Fantasy Tactics on there, like inventory databases for easy reference, quick guides on classes, and links to past PvP matches that are being played on the Tactics League Discord server. That's right, PvP and rendezvous matches are going on right now using backed up War of the Lions UMDs and PSP emulators on seriously any device, including phones over 4G. It's time to back up that dusty UMD and get online with other players to experience the amazing final frontier of this amazing game. And that's testing your roster against some of the biggest challenges it has faced, those found only in multiplayer. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the old like button there. And if you're interested in getting the word out to more players like yourself who love War of the Lions, hit subscribe if you aren't already. Not only do you get notified when new Tactics Live tournament videos get released, but new viewers get recommended to the channel as well. That new viewer could be a future opponent in Melee or a friend helping you get that brave suit in Rendezvous. So help yourself get better gear by subscribing today. This is Mikey from Tactics Live Tournament signing off. I will see you in the next video, and until then, be well everyone.